Hello everyone, my name is Chloe and today I am here with a brand new video. Welcome to Brunette Bibliophile, where I post bookish videos and writing content. Today I am here with a fun little video that I decided to do for Valentine's Day. Instead of doing a themed tag, which is something easy and I would probably normally do, today I'm here with a recommendations video, and as you can tell by the title, we are going to be recommending books based off of their tropes. All of the books in this video are specifically going to be romance books, and I have a couple of different tropes and a couple of different books to recommend for you all. So let's dive right in and get started. The first trope is Marriage of Convenience, and for this one I'm going to be recommending Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I just posted my review of this book for a blog tour. I'll link that in the description below. But this is a paranormal romance marriage of convenience trope between a vampire who is the daughter of a powerful councilman and a werewolf who is also an alpha. One of my most anticipated releases for 2024, and I absolutely loved this book. If you're into paranormal romance but also want it to be in like a bit of a modern setting, this is the one for you. I didn't realize that this was the kind of marriage of convenience book I was looking for until I read it. The next trope is Enemies to Lovers. And the first one I have is You with a View by Jessica Joyce. This is also a road trip novel, and we are following Noelle, who finds out that her grandmother almost married somebody else, and she seeks out to find who that person was, and it turns out it is the grandfather of her high school nemesis, Theo. And together they go on the honeymoon that was never had by her grandmother and this other person, and it is a road trip between the two of them and the grandpa. This was such a fun book, and I am so glad that I got to read it. I am definitely interested to see what else Jessica Joyce puts out in the future. Her 2024 release is coming out very soon, and I'm very excited. And there is definitely some great chemistry written between Noelle and Theo. And my other pick for Enemies to Lovers is actually a whole series, and it is the Wicked Villains series by Katie Robert. So this is just the first book, but this is, I believe, a 7-book series of essentially Disney smut. I've noticed with each book, they tend to be enemies in some fashion. This one is following Jasmine and Jafar. We also follow Hades and Meg, Tink and Hook, Belle, Gaston and the Beast, Ursula, Eric and Ariel, and Aurora and Maleficent. Most of them in the series also have name changes as well. Not in this one though. But this also includes kind of like a little bit of mafia stuff. There's a lot of territory in this whole series. But if you're looking for something that's essentially Disney smut, I recommend this series, and the bulk of them are kind of an enemies to lovers. This one definitely is. Next, we're going to be moving into friends to lovers, and this first one that I'm going to talk about kind of more falls into the childhood friends to lovers trope, and it is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I talk about this book guaranteed at least once a year, always around Christmas time, because I have reread this book 4 times. I read it every holiday season, and it is a romance where our main character is stuck in a Groundhog Day time loop, but it is centered around her family's huge holiday vacation where her parents and their college friends, all of their families get together. This is one of my all-time favorite Christina Lauren books. Out of their whole extensive backlog and all the ones that I've read, this probably comes out as #1. Highly, highly recommend checking this one out. If you're looking for a holiday romance during the non-holidays, pick this one up, or even read it during the holidays. It's definitely one of my favorite traditions each year to pick up this book. And the next one I'm going to talk about in the Friends to Lovers trope, kind of it has a lot of autumnal vibes to it, especially you'll get it when you see the cover, and it's one that I read within the past couple of months, and it is You Again by Kate Goldbeck. This is for fans of When Harry Met Sally. We have these two characters who have connected on multiple occasions until one day they reconnect and they become friends. And our main female character is a comedian, so there's a lot of jokes that happen throughout, and I think it's a really fun rom-com, and it can also be really sexy. The next trope that we're going to talk about is workplace romance, and this first book I actually considered putting into another category, but felt that it fit better here, and it is the book that got me into the romance genre, and that is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is an enemies to lovers, but also a workplace romance. And we are following Lucy and Joshua, who work for this publishing house, and they are each an assistant to the CEOs. And they also hate each other. but they end up both being up for the same promotion. And down the line, they possibly discover that they might not hate each other. This is one of my all-time favorite romances. I will always go back and have fond memories with this book. I have read it 2 or 3 times at this point and own multiple copies. This could definitely fit into both workplace romance or enemies to lovers. I just decided to lump it into workplace romance, but if you're also looking for those enemies to lovers vibes, then this is it. And also for the workplace romance trope, we have With Love from Cold World by Alicia Thompson. This is centered around 2 characters who work for this indoor snow attraction, indoor winter attraction. If you're from Florida, it's very similar to Snowcat Ridge. And together, these 2 characters have to work together to come up with a solution to save their jobs or save the park. I read this a couple of months ago and I really enjoyed this one. I highly recommend picking it up, especially the audiobook if that's what you're into. But I loved the chemistry between these 2 characters and I can't wait to see what else Alicia Thompson releases in the future. And the final trope is second chance romance. This is actually one that I don't think I have read a lot from, but I do have 2 recommendations for you all. The first one is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. And this is one that I actually just recently finished and was my first Kennedy Ryan book. We're following Yasmin and Josiah, who are divorced, but they're finding a rhythm in co-parenting and also being business partners. But both of them have a lot of tragedy that they have shared together, and they find themselves starting to reconnect, but also wondering if it's a good idea. There's also going to be a companion sequel coming out about a character who was in this book named Soledad, and I'm very excited to read that one and see what that is all about. I have some ideas just based off of some context clues that we were given in this first book, but I'm very excited. And the final book on this recommendations list, also in the second chance romance category, and one of my absolute favorite books of 2023 was Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. In this book, we are following a wedding planner and a florist who are also exes, and they end up working on the same wedding together. It's told in a dual point of view, but also a dual timeline, where we are watching them reconnect while working on this wedding, but also trying to find out why they broke up in the first place. This is such a good book. I remember coming home after a late night at work and just having to devour the rest of this book. I loved it so much, and it definitely put Julie Soto on the map of one of my new favorite authors. So those are all of the romance books that I have to recommend for you all today based off of Tropes. Down below in the comments, leave some of your favorite books and their tropes, or leave an emoji to let me know that you watched this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you like what you see here, please go ahead and click subscribe. I post new videos every week, so click subscribe so you can be updated for when I post those. Thank you all so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
In the darkness, I don't feel